Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so from the security services, I have created from the IAM. Here I have added IAM as well. One sec. Hmm. Okay, so what I have done is I have created users, user groups, and roles under IAM service where we can create multiple users and we can group like from the dev group or admin group like that. And I have created this for one dev. I have created a dev group and created a user under that, and I have provided the permissions to it. So that is the roles I have created, and I have added the users under that roles. Okay.
Do you log in using those users also?
No, I haven't tried logging in.
Okay. Create two different types of users, right? And with different roles permission, and log in different windows, one in Chrome, one in, let's say, in IE,
Mm.
and then see how the pages look differently.
Okay. Okay, fine. And okay, now I have checked the security artifacts where we have a security hub service where we can provide, where we can get and security checks automatically.
What you
Then,
do is open that menu, right? Go to Amazon, to the left side menu, and let's cover one by one so that we don't miss the important ones.
okay, fine.
I mean, even if you didn't get time, that's fine. I mean, you can call out that. Let's go through those items first.
Okay. So this is AWS artifact where we can create the reports and agreements here. Here, when we are creating this AWS artifact, there is one important steps is a security hub. So I created a few things actually like under the security hub, but I'm not sure like whether whether that is the actual way that we have to do, because there are many options that we are supposed to do like encryptions and everything. So those things I haven't touched. So the basic things I have tried to create it.
Yeah, because those would involve the real-time implementation,
Correct. Yeah.
applications and all.
Mm.
Here, the goal would be to know the conceptually that what is encryption, how you use it, what is certification, what are the different ways you do, and why you need those.
Okay. And I've just gone through only few services. Okay.
Yes, yes, I mean,
Okay.
that's fine. Whichever services you have explored, let's go through that, and then I will tell you the next step, what we have to do. So mainly, I just wanted to know what is your thought process around this security and all. Right?
Okay.
That's fine. Whatever you have gone through, let's go one by one. Even if
Mm.
you tell about couple of points about that particular service, that is fine.
Okay. And the AWS Audit Manager I have created where this I'm getting echo. Okay, so here the AWS Audit Manager. So here we can monitor the reports and everything, and like the security complaint, whether all or whether the account is compliant to the security standards and all. So here is the here we can manage and monitor everything here.
So what are the things that does it monitor? What are the things it audits?
It is like whether our organization or a particular account, right? Whether that account is non-compliant anywhere. Like there are many types of securities and this thing, right? So any way whether the account or the organization is deviating the security rules.
Right. So you see here, you have the all active assessments and the create assessment, right? So did you
Huh.
try to create an assessment?
Yes, I did. I have tried to create, but somehow, I have created one actually. Yeah, this one I have created demo audit.
Okay.
Yeah, so here, like we can just create the assessments for the organization as well, right? Oh, I think that, no, not here actually. Somewhere. Okay. Okay. So this is one I have created, and here we can provide the complaints type like the rules, and but I haven't understand what is this the complaints type for.
So it is saying SOC 2.
Hmm.
So there would be other compliance type.
Yes, yes, yes. There
There
are
are
many.
different sets of rules which would be a part of that compliance type. So if
Okay.
there would be like lower level, very high level, secured one. All
Hmm.
different types of categories will be there.
Hmm. Okay, and the reports will be put into this S3.
Right.
Like the S3 bucket that I have, whatever I have created,
Go back.
and
Okay. Um,
yeah.
yeah. So you have the number of services and number of accounts.
Hmm.
The hyperlink.
No, you mean this one?
No, that one number of accounts.
No, that's not hyperlink. Like it's just a number.
Number, right? So AWS accounts, if you come down, it is not showing the accounts. You say total control 61, and you don't have the data for those, right? Click on that accounts tab. Go up. Your
No,
AWS accounts.
only no. This is not able to click. Like it's just a number.
No. Below you have tabs, no controls, assessment report.
Okay, okay. Here there is only one account. I have created another account also yesterday. But it said it is successfully. It didn't say created. It's successfully submitted like that. It's shown. But here, like again, like I'm not able to create organization. So we can find out, right? The accounts.
Yes.
So actually, I have
Have one
created.
account.
With this, I have created, but I don't know, like it's not showing up.
Maybe it failed later on.
Okay.
Anyways, that's not a big deal. So go there. So let's explore those options, right? This is very important. So
Okay.
see here when you do the audits, right? So
Hmm.
what it is doing is it is doing a assessment for certain compliance type. A compliance
Mm.
would be a set of rules. Based on that, you are going to do. Now you need to check what are the different other compliance types are there and what is a part of it. Okay.
Mm.
Now, in this the other parameters, AWS accounts is saying 1, AWS services 6, and audit owners 2. Okay. Now for each
Mm.
services, there would be a report, or it will tell you for that service what is the vulnerability. Right. After auditing, it will tell you what is the assessment report for each one of them. Right.
Mm.
Now, if you go to this tabs bottom, you have controls, assessment report selection. Go one by one. Click on controls.
One question I have: audit honors. Actually, I have given my account only as an audit owner, but why there are two?
Maybe one is root and one is yours.
Okay. Okay. So controls.
Total controls 61, reviewed 0, under review 61, and inactive 0. So these are not done. Like, you need to run that report. To run this assessment, then it will say reviewed.
Okay.
So these
These are
are
the
our
controls that they will be checking, is it?
and couple of them. Yes. So the entry details for the entity obtains or generates users and communicates relevant quality information. So these all different informations are there. You don't
Mm.
need to go through each and every sentence and words here, but high level you need to understand that it there is something like this. You have some controls like this, right? And
Mm.
each control, what are they? If you read any one, you will understand the entity. Let's say A1.3. So the entity tests recovery plan, right? Procedures supporting system uh, recovery to meet its objective. Click on that. Okay. So now related to recovery, right?
Mm.
What are the things are recoverable? It could be your data, it could be code, it could be service, it could be configurations, all different things. Right? What if something crashes? Those are the
Mm.
things can be recovered. Right? So each of those control will basically cover certain things which need to be taken care of. So as a part of audit, it
Mm.
validates against each of those rules, and it sees that for every account which you have, right? Under every account, you will have multiple services. So it
Mm.
will view and audit every services under every account and check that it is following all the rules or not. The moment
Okay.
it
So.
sees some discrepancy, it will
Mm.
report.
Okay. So, in for example, like for this particular service, whether if you are checking a complaint on this recovery part, so what needs to be checked? Again, the second point is what needs to be checked, right? So that question, or like you have to, like, it should automatically check this, right? So what needs to be checked should be updated by us, or this AWS
That
account
tool
itself.
will do it.
Will be okay.
Tool does it. So these all are the like SOC type 2, right? So it
Hmm.
by default contains all these different controls to audit.
Okay. And it okay. So this particular thing actually, it is we can make it under review or reviewed. So
So
that is
under
a
review,
manual
why it is
process.
review by default is you'll see the report. After you see the report, it is a automated report which system is telling you, right? After
Okay.
that, manually you have to review your leads need to review it, and then you have to
Mm.
take the corrective measure. You may run it once again, and if there
Mm.
is some issue that needs to be fixed and all, then once everything is done and you want to say that okay, I'm done with this review, then say it has reviewed.
Okay. Okay. Then assessment report selection.
So it is not run, so there is no report available at this.
Okay,
Once you
fine. So where we can run this assessments, wait, assessment. No, I don't see any option. AWS account. This is the one account I have. This will be auditing under this AWS account. So if we have multiple
let's
accounts,
say you
all
have 10 accounts, you want to audit only for one account. Let's say dev, test, and prod, three accounts are there. You
hmm,
don't want to do it for dev and test. You want to do only for prod because that is something sensitive.
hmm,
So you will
hmm.
do select that account and do it only for that.
Okay. And this can be done. This will be done in on the admin account, right?
It it will be controlled by the admin or root. Yes.
Hmm. Okay. And AWS services, what are all the services that needs to be? Uh,
These are the services you have created basically. So all these services will be considered.
okay. So we will not choose particular service, right? It
There is
automatically
some
takes all
option
the
to
services.
choose as well. Like if you want to exclude certain services, don't want to include them as a part of the audit, it should be there.
Hmm. Audit honors. This is mine, and this is root. Okay, as you said. Okay. This is the history. Okay. So, but where we can run this? I don't see any. Active.
Maybe in the free version it is not available. Maybe not sure.
Demo audit assessment. Hmm. Okay, fine. Can we move?
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, next is certificate manager, where we can create our own certificate by providing the domain name, and then like we can export or sorry, we can import certificates from out of AWS account if you want to use it, and we can import that as well. And yeah, it's kind of a key store. It acts as a key store for storing and creating a certificate,
Do you know what are the different types of certificates are there? When do you need certificate?
like public certificate and private certificate.
Mhm. Any example in the real time who needs it, when they need it?
That is what, like if we want this two-way SSL connectivity, and basically for this HTTPS connectivity or SSL connectivity, then we need to provide the certificate of our own, and then we may have third-party certificate as well to authenticate.
Do you know how to install a certificate or how to integrate a certificate with a build or code?
No.
So this is something required. Maybe what happens is, okay, you create a certificate, okay, then you give it to the developer. Okay.
Correct.
Developer
Mm.
he tries with certain steps which is given, and he fails. Yeah, it does not work, and it gives certain kind of errors or exceptions and all, which normally the programmers won't understand much. Okay.
Mm.
So in that case, DevOps and programmer sit together and fix it. Where DevOps engineers role would be more.
Okay.
Yes, because many things happen. At least which I have seen 60 to 70% from the configuration side. okay, or from the certificate manager side. Some or other properties you might need to change, some permission you may need to give, some values may be not correctly written, something like that. A lot of things. So this is something, if you have a chance to implement, you will have a good experience. Okay, certificate implementation. And how do you do it? So let's say you have a very simple web application. Okay, like browser based simple React.js application, or uh,
Mm-hmm.
Angular application, or a microservice, right? And it is in HTTP. So you can install, create one certificate. You can do self-signed certificate, right? Instead of you see here, it is a purchased one, right? You buy it. Instead of buying, you can do a self-signed, then run that. So can you take the task in open your task manager, that Excel file?
Yeah.
Actually, you can go to the Google Drive, and there will be shared option that directly you can see. Open Google Drive.
Yeah.
You go to another browser, say drive.google.com. Drive.google.com.
It's the.
So write down the task that create a self-signed certificate and implement for an web app or microservice.
Implement
Implement or integrate it with
for web service.
create with a web application or a microservice. Okay, so this is something hands-on you have to know, because even if you claim that you are a DevOps engineer, but if you are not able to answer or you are not able to solve the problem, then I mean, people will easily say that you don't have a real-time experience.
Mm.
So this is one. Along with that, I'll tell you a couple of more tasks which came in my mind. Okay, uh, explore MTLS. M is small letter, remaining caps. MTLS. And what is the difference between TLS and MTLS? Okay. You explore and come back to me. I will understand. I will tell you.
Okay.
और एक task लिखना है कि yeah, I will tell you the background first, then you write the task. Okay. Background is
Mm.
when you think about roles, permissions, securities, and all these things, right? You have
Mm-hmm.
a org structure in mind. For example, let's say you have an organization. Under
Mm.
organization, you have multiple accounts.
Mm.
Under each account, this is correct.
Mm.
Now, in an organization, you have a org chart where you starting from the CEO to, let's say, you have CTO, CIO, then senior directors, or before that it could be vice president. Different roles will be there.
Yeah. Like organizational
Managers
unit.
and leads and all, right. So
Mm.
create one org chart. Okay, a draft
Okay.
of org chart where you keep at least 2 to 3 members on the different roles, starting from the CEO.
Mm.
Then you need to assume that you are going to create the roles, permissions, and users for that organization.
Okay.
So you can my company, let's say Borai Technology Solutions, okay, the company. In that
Mm.
company, you name all different roles. Okay, any name you like, you give. Okay, then have a mind map.
Mm.
So how you have to think is your thought process matters a lot, right? How you want to approach to implement something by yourself, or you want to lead a team, how you want them to do it.
Mm.
Or even if you are working for an experienced architect, let's say, when that architect tells you something, right, you will understand easily if you have that,
Mm.
or else everything will go out of your head.
Yeah.
Create a org chart up with different roles and permissions for them. That's the
Mm.
task, right?
Okay.
For different users. Give me 1 minute.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. So it's fine. Let's move on to the next.
Okay.
Have you used any design tools for drawing any
No.
architectures and all?
No, I haven't.
Go to open. Go to another tab.
Mm-hmm.
.io.
What is it? Draw.io. Okay.
You download it later on. You can
Mm.
use this tool for org chart or any diagrams and all. So you have to gradually get hands-on into the
Okay.
designs. Okay. How many
Mm-hmm.
years of experience you have actually?
11?
7, no? So you see this at this level, I mean, you should be knowing when you claim that you are a DevOps engineer or you are
Mm.
okay.
Okay. Oh,
Start it gradually, it will happen. Don't worry.
okay.
Chalo, let's move on.
Okay. So we were on. Okay. Cloud HSM. I haven't gone through. I can just
Correct.
complete. Yeah. So IAM. Can I go to Cloud HSM or the next one which I have checked?
Go to the one which you have gone through.
Okay. So next is IAM, which is Identity Access Management, where we can create multiple users. We can group the users on within groups. We can group them for development roles or admin roles. So they will have different permissions. So we can provide the developers, the whole group of developers onto some particular roles, gives another particular set of permissions to other admin
Do you
users.
know what is role, what is permission, what is policy?
Uh, roles roles means like for this we are giving the permissions to use that particular service.
Will you be able to explain with what example? What is
Uh, okay. With the cloud, no. See, for example, if we are taking an EC2, maybe like EC2. I'm not sure if I'm telling is correct. Okay. So like the roles, like if I am telling us a role for the development, so the developers who can do only developments where they won't be able to access the administrator level properties, but wherein the admin people who can able to deploy or edit or who might have right capabilities to deploy and update some of the properties in particular service.
Yeah, I'll give you a very simple example, okay, which is you might be very much familiar with. Okay, you can
Hmm.
relate to that. Okay. See, in your company, you have employer, okay, you have employee, you have HR. Okay. Under employee again, different people have different roles. Someone is HR, someone is, let's say, admin, like IT admin, someone is engineer, right? Someone is recruiter, right? Like that, these sets of people are there. So normally roles are attached with the people.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, when you say permission, right? The permission is when it is about the application, right? Where that user will be able to do certain actions on that application on certain functionality or not. So let's say
Hmm.
when in a portal, when HR logs in, let's say it is a salary portal. Okay.
Hmm.
When you log in, you will see only your data. Okay. So
Hmm.
you have permission for only to view your data. Even
Yeah.
you don't have permission to change your data,
Yeah.
right? But HR has permission to see your data, change your data, see others' data as well,
Correct.
right? So that is permission. Then what is policy, right? So sometimes policy and permission is little confusing and ambiguous. Okay, even I've seen in the big companies and all also they actually mix up. Okay, I'll tell you
Hmm.
understanding. Different people might have a different perspective in this.
So you mean the permissions will come under the roles?
Permission comes under role.
Hmm.
Every role will have a set of permissions,
Hmm.
and some permissions are common to multiple roles. Let's say I can log in and view. So view permission is common for both, but edit permission is not common.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. Now policy. Policy is a kind of a rules. Okay, and that rule is defined by organization or government or local bodies. Okay, or legal, something like that.
Okay.
So as per the policy, your permissions are driven.
Hmm.
Government policy is that you have to do KYC verification. Then only your bank account will be active and you can perform your online transaction.
Hmm.
Okay, so that KYC verification is a policy, government policy.
Hmm.
Now, using that policy, certain different permissions or action are being either enabled or disabled.
Hmm.
If that policy is verified or if it is abide by that policy, then only those functionalities will be activated.
Yeah.
So you need to think like that. You need to have some image around this role permission policy, so that when you are building that structure, when you join a company and responsibility, and accordingly you have to create that.
Mm, but one question, like roles. Roles you said like it can be a HR. So HR can have multiple access to see everyone's details, but as an employee, they don't have access. Again, policy comes. That is again comes under allow and deny, right? HR is again allowed to view the details, and employees not allowed, like disables that
So
rule.
policy is not done or developed by the developers or the person who is developing the software. See, the policy belongs to the organization's principles or government's principles.
Okay, but
Based on
here
that
we can
policy, you are
create.
making the permissions or rules.
Okay, but here we can customize the policies also.
Here you can customize the policies as well. That's what I'm saying. So the policy sometimes it is mixed up with permission. So here, if you see, it is policy and permission is almost similar.
Mm.
All the policies as the permission.
Mm.
You don't have a separate something called permission in this.
Mm.
Okay, this is the permissions. Okay. Now
Mm.
this is saying permission, then it's saying policy name. See, permission.
Yeah.
They are not
So,
distinguishing between.
okay, here.
See, the top is saying policies, then here is saying permissions.
Hmm.
Not it. So this is little confusing and ambiguous. So people easily gets confused.
So here, for example, I'm going under a role. Okay, so here, so for I'm grouping few of the. See, is this am I understanding correct or not? Just give me, tell me. I'm creating a role. Okay, where I need to have an admin policies to be enabled and some other policies to be enabled. So is it like I create a role where I can add multiple policies under that, like administrative access, like say for example, the users, the external users, I can give
Combination is possible.
access. So under roles, like I can add the policies.
Right.
Hmm.
So explain one policy. So this is just the definition.
So here they are allowing these many actions.
These individual actions are in fact the permissions. You have a permission to modify. You have a permission to get certain
It has functions, right?
to create.
Yeah.
Here, like permissions are combined together as a policy, and then policies are combined to become a part of a role. So different organization or different cloud defines it differently, but
Mm.
but conceptually you need to understand what are they.
Mm. Okay. So here, just 1 second, like under statement, so action is there. Okay. So for these are services, right? Elastic load balancing. Under this service, it is able to add listener certificates. That is the permission that we are giving. Right. So here again, it is again given as okay, firehouse. I don't know what are these, but here I could see EC2 create tags. So under when we are creating an EC2, then create tag means like the tag creation is enabled.
Right. You are allowing to have a tag for each EC2 instance you create.
Okay. So basically, by default, because see, I am one of the user. So I am an admin user or like a root user. So by default, I will have all the permissions of this AWS account, right? Because I'm seeing many policies, many default policies are there, many default roles are there. So as an admin or as a root user, uh, whether I will have all these policies allowed for me. Hello,
Yes, that.
Manoranjan, am I
That's
audible? Hello.
Yeah, that's right. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, I'm just hearing you now. So what you heard me right? Like my question, like as an admin or as a root user, whether all these rules or all these policies will be given to me. will be added or allowed to me.
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
So manage the roles and permissions is a very typical work. Okay, in a big
Mm.
if some because it happens in the hierarchy.
Mm.
So there would be like few roles and permissions which carries forwards from top to bottom.
Okay.
Now, if you give certain permission in the top level, let's say, okay,
Mm.
for example, admin has permission for everything. Okay, when you make one permission as admin, he will be
Mm.
able to do everything.
Yeah.
Now let's say he has a role of let's say read option only,
Mm.
but afterwards you added him as a no, role as admin, so that read
Mm.
will be overridden and he will get the extra permission of write.
Mm.
Okay, that is one way. Another workflow happens where in the bottom level, if you restrict something, even if he has permission in the top level, he will be restricted. For example, I have two admins. Okay, both
Mm.
admins can do everything whatever they can. Okay,
Mm.
but
Mm.
for admin one, I don't want him to be able to, let's say, view one particular account. Let's say I have a very secret customer account. I don't want him to see it,
Mm.
so I can hide it from him.
Mm.
Give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. Tell me. Here, see, for example, I am creating two policies, okay, and in one policy, I am giving all the right access, okay. For EC2, for example, for EC2, I have given the right policy, and in the same policy, I have S3 also I have given the right policy. But in the another policy, policy 2, I have created some other service policies, service access. But for EC2, I'm giving only read access. Okay. So if I am creating a role, and then I'm attaching both the policies.
Hmm.
In that case, whether that particular users under the roles, under this particular role will have easy to write or read.
So it will. So that is what. So it should have read and write both.
Okay,
So
so whatever
as
the
a part of one role, you got only read access. As a
mm,
part of other role, you got read and write both access. So when you combine
mm,
together, you have read write both.
both.
Okay. But in
Okay.
certain hierarchy, what it happens is, if you have
Mm,
read write both as a part of certain role, and I have
mm,
given you another role which is in the
mm,
lower level, then it
mm.
basically the lower level role, overrides the upper one. So
Okay.
you will have
So
more restricted permission.
okay, so even though if I have read-write access in other roles, if there is in any one policy, if I attach another policy with disable or lock, like not allowed, not accessible, then it will choose the not accessible role
Yeah.
policies
Let's
permission,
do
right?
that exercise. It will be good to have a hands on.
Uh,
So we create one, let's say S3 bucket file. Okay, create two roles, and then assigned to a user with a read and another user with read write, another user with only write, and then assign with the different roles and see what is happening, how it is behaving.
Mm. Okay. And now, what else? We need to- Identity providers. Sorry, I did not gone through this actually. It's an identity provider to manage.
See what are the providers. Yes. Well, you have SAML, you have OpenID.
ID.
So this is something you have to again okay, OpenID. Okay, very important.
Okay.
So in general, do you what is identity provider?
Mm, no.
I'll give you one example. Relate. See, why nowadays when you log into Facebook, okay, or log into LinkedIn or any other networking site, or there are many uh, other different websites are coming up. They basically ask you either to register with your own
Google. Yeah.
or log in via Google or Facebook or other
Or
uh,
Gmail. Yeah. Okay.
providers. Okay, so they are the identity providers.
It's
It is
kind
a
of a third party authentication.
correct. It is a third party authentication and authorization system.
Hmm.
The basic authorization, not the full. So well, let's say I will give you an example. I am logging into Facebook via Google.
Hmm.
In this case, Google is my identity provider. So
Yeah.
Google knows that Archana is a genuine user, okay, and she has all these details: name, address, phone number, and all. Now, when you go to create to Facebook, Facebook is saying you don't have to write the complete form already. If you say that okay, you can sign with Google and you allow Google to share the details which you have already registered with, then I will
Hmm.
take that from Google itself. You don't have to type again everything. And every time you don't have to write a separate ID and password and all. Whatever you are using Google, use that same ID password and I will give you access.
Hmm.
So the basic authentication and permission will be shared by Google to Facebook. And then Facebook, on top of that, will create its own, mapped user against that, identity.
Hmm.
Log into Facebook, it will have the details of Google verified, and then
Hmm.
associated to that, now Facebook specific roles and permissions it will start creating for you. So whatever will be your history and all in Facebook, so it will start noting. Let's say you are creating some advertisement, so you will have a different permission. You are a paid user for Facebook or LinkedIn. You will have a different permissions and roles for those. Right, so it will override on top of those rules or authorization which it got from.
Hmm. Okay.
So
So here, the identity provider we create to to provide access to the users which are from Google or like which are already having the basic authentication done via Google or some other identity providers, right?
So here couple of terms you need to deep dive. Okay, one
Hmm.
term is access, one is identity. Okay, another is authentication, and this authorization.
Hmm.
So these terms meanings you need to distinguish properly. Okay, so when you say identity, right? Identity
Hmm.
is not only your authentication details, but also your personal some personal informations, PII. Okay, so that
Hmm.
could be like your credit card number, your address, your name, okay, marital status, those kind of things. So in
Hmm.
India, in fact, we don't have that much strong government policies against this kind of data. Okay,
Hmm.
but in US or European countries, they're very strict. So
Yeah.
none of the personal data can be shared to others.
Hmm.
Okay, so you have to distinguish with those. So this is also required when you talk about security, right? When you say data security, what do you mean by data security? It's not about only that somebody will hack and somebody will come to know what is your salary, or somebody will hack your account and transfer your money to other account. It is not that. There are hundreds and thousands of things are there related to data security, and all are bound with these few terms: access, authentication, uh,
Identity.
authorization, identity, encryption. Okay, and these options are the provider types. Okay, you have SAML, you have OpenID, right? So
Hmm.
you need to
Hmm.
know what is SAML, what is OpenID.
Hmm.
What is saying SAML? Establish trust between your AWS account and SAML 2 compatible identity providers, such as they have given. Okay, this activity
Ship.
services. Okay, so it is a
Hmm.
different mechanism to do that security stuff. Okay,
Hmm.
now it's open ID, establish trust between AWS account and identity provider. So there are two types of providers it is specifying. Now,
Hmm.
how they differ is how technically they implement your security implementation. Like it is a token based, it is encryption authorization, encryption based, it is let's say certification based, it is SSL, no, HTTP, HTTPS. So those all kind of things comes into picture. So take a task here. Okay, this SAML and OpenID connect. If we do this, then surrounding that you will understand the other concepts also. For your information, nowadays SAML, though it is specific by default, it is taken up, but nowadays OpenID Connect is getting more and more popular.
Hmm. Okay, SAML is basically based on the token, right? Like SAML token.
SAML token, yes.
Yeah. And OpenID, I'm not sure. Like, what is it? So this we can create.
You can create and see whatever options are there.
Hmm. Okay. So this is basically my account settings.
Account settings, it is talking about different policies. So this is your password policy.
Hmm.
Come down, security token, service, session token, okay, endpoints.
So these are the permissions that I have for these. Okay. Okay, I haven't gone through these actually. From these, I haven't gone through. Maybe
Okay,
like I have to.
can later on, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I will check and then I'll. Security Lake. I think I have. Yeah, Security Lake.
DevOps engineer or initial level of architect role, they won't ask these things, but just have an overview of this. That should be
Okay.
because these are required when you are quite experienced and you are going to implement in a big scale organization.
Hmm. Okay. So here, security leaks. I have tried to create this, but like there was some issue. Like it's not able to configure it because of some ARN. Uh, like it's asking some ARN thing, and also I
Did you
couldn't give.
understand the concept? What is the
Uh,
like?
yeah, like see here, security leaks means like we can create this to get all the logs, all the reports, and for which of the so for which of the we can choose the accounts from where we need to get the reports from, and what kind of logs we should get. And like it is like what was it always. Okay, like the logs, whether we need to select the logs or the event source, and then where we need to put the data. So those things are mentioned while creating the security lake.
So if you see this sentence, right, automatically centralize all your data with few clicks. Okay. So basically, what is trying to say is when you say see this term, you think that data is huge. Okay, and it combines between all distributed data together in a centralized place.
So this mean like from all the regions, right? Like for example, if I have multiple region, I have service in multiple regions, I will get the reports of all the regions, right?
Right. So that is written in the right side stanza, right? So it's saying
Yeah, yeah, all
we
region.
enable features for all regions and all accounts, right? So basically, in your org level, you will have multiple accounts, and each account might belong to so many different regions. Okay, so
Mm.
everything together, you will have the data, and then the consolidated auditing, logging, and reporting you can do.
Okay. But see, when it comes to audit manager, so again, it is for all the regions and all the accounts, right?
So when it is a lake, you're saying, right? Security lake, it is a kind of a data lake where it is giving you all the data in a centralized place. Okay, but to run the audit on that, that's a different thing. The first thing is
Okay.
you need to have a data in a centralized place. How data will be merged together, how it will be stored, how they will be structured, what are the different ways to retrieve the data. Okay, so those things are a part of security lake. But when you say that audit manager is basically you are assessing or running your rules or audit principles on that set of data. Audit
Okay.
manager
So
will help you
basically,
the audit
basically,
work.
okay. So the security lake and audit manager are linked together.
It is like, see, let's say you have an Oracle database. Okay, inside the database, you will have tables, you will have SQL procedure, views, and you can run your own queries.
Hmm.
Okay, so now that is a database. So as a part of the database, you can have those different things, right? You have a data object and the different rules how what you can run there. Okay, but
Hmm.
if somebody says that you build a report or tell me, right, which employees has this much salary, which employees already left, how many people are working actively now, what are their shifts and all. So that is your report which you are building by utilizing all the features available on that database.
Hmm.
Okay, so audit is basically the activity which you are running on top of that data, but you cannot do anything you want. Whatever is allowed by that database, like let's say my Oracle database has a certain syntax to do your joins or SQL procedure or views, materialized views and all, right? Using those features only, you can analyze the data and you come up with your own report or presentation.
Hmm. Okay.
So when you say audit, so normally audit would be mainly purpose of the audit is what? That whatever the security data, whatever security information I have, is that
Hmm.
meeting all my policies and rules and regulations or not?
That is the
That is the
assessment that
purpose of
you
the
were taking.
audit or the assessment.
Hmm.
Assessment is the activity on the audit or is a,
Audit. Hmm.
so these manager provides different tools and techniques to run audits on that data, on that security data.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Got it. And firewall manager, I haven't checked properly. Basically, these are the services that I have.
The last
Uh,
one you can go, the WAF rule and sealed.
okay.
This one, if you have not done, you need to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, see, I will give you a concept for WAF, right?
So I think this is basically for the um, application security, where um, we can provide the DDoS kind of security and all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, whether the DDoS related security is enabled, or only like I know just about the DDoS. So that
So
those kind of security is enabled or not. Like, is that the thing that is talking under this BAF and Shield?
let's understand these particular sentences. What is there in this page? Okay, that will give you a very broad view. Okay, it's saying protect your web applications from common web exploits. Okay, now what is web application? Let's say it is basically something which you are accessing from your browser.
Hmm.
Now, in this application itself, let's say Amazon, you have showing in the URL us slash east1.console.aws.amazon.com. Okay, the web application. Okay. Now, when you hit this URL, it goes to the server and gives you the data. Now,
Hmm.
behind the scene, how it is implemented, huh, it depends on the size, amount of heat, amount of requirement, which are the user base, which are the countries it is using, region, availability, hundreds of things. Okay. Now, when all behind this URL, there are so many different systems,
Hmm.
distributed systems, and distributed mechanisms are there. To
Hmm.
call out, it is clearly mentioned here. Say WAF is a web application firewall service that lets you monitor web requests that are forwarded to an Amazon API gateway. So the moment you hit this URL, this request goes to a server.
Hmm.
And that server onward, there are so many different tools, techniques are involved. So couple of them could be, let's say, is API gateway, is a Amazon CloudFront distribution, it could be a
Hmm.
load balancer, right? It could be your application server, your web application server. It could be your Kubernetes cluster. It could be Kubernetes node, right? There are so many things behind it. Okay.
Hmm.
Now
Hmm.
every layer you need certain kind of security action.
Hmm.
Okay. So when you say DDoS or rate limiting, blah blah blah. So those are just couple of parameters.
Hmm.
Okay. Now I say that I have developed this application. I have launched it to public in the internet, but I want it should be available only from India. For
Hmm.
example, let's say Descom.com or BWSSB.com in Bangalore, right? Okay. Now,
Hmm.
people who live outside India, right? Sometimes they also need to pay from there,
Hmm.
right? if I see
Hmm.
that those links, it is only in India and only Indians are paying it, so I want to allow it from India. That may not help. Okay,
Yeah.
but I can specifically, restrict for few countries.
Hmm.
Let's say I want to restrict from Pakistan
Okay.
or China. That if you are in those countries, I will not allow because people from those countries they hack my site.
Hmm.
Right. So based on the regions and so many other ways, you can restrict the traffic
Okay.
based on the type of data, based on the query parameters, based on the URL parameters, based on the location. Right. There are hundreds of other parameters. Based on that, you can filter out that you uh, allow the request till what level. So those all rules and settings can be uh, set as a part of WAF.
Okay.
So when you explore WAF and SILT,
Hmm.
what are the things you can see?
Okay.
So when somebody now you understand the breadth and depth of security. Anytime
Yeah.
someone say that hey you are an architect, okay, so right now you are looking from only DevOps point of view, but if you are a solution or enterprise architect, right? So say
Hmm.
that okay, see what do you your about security or how will you secure my application?
Hmm.
It's a web application. So security comes all so many different layers. Your
Yeah.
UI layer, in your service layer, in your network layer, in your database layer, in your data transfer layer. When data is at rest, that time, okay, when data is getting copied, that time, when there are phishing mechanism, right? So many different things are considered. So when we run a security audit, that security audit also runs from so many different layers.
Yeah.
So that your AWS also provide to there are certain tools which helps you to run across your accounts or all services, and it will audit and it will tell you what all security optimizations can be done.
Okay.
It's only from infrastructure side of you, which is for an DevOps engineer or DevOps architect.
Okay.
So you can explore some more and then you can come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Okay. And any other services that I have to explore, like any other
Cognito is
important?
important. Yes, Cognito.
Okay.
Out of this, AWS Firewall Manager is also guard duty. Yeah. So I was telling, no, so this is the security audit tool. Okay, let's go through all a little more. So whatever you have
Okay.
covered, that's fine. Go through others. See, the guard duty is very important. Cognito is
Okay.
very important.
Okay.
Let's spend another 1 or 2 days on security
Hmm.
and
Okay.
to other.
Fine. 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 Okay.
So while you are going to explore these remaining ones, the
Hmm.
task which you have written down, right?
Hmm.
First, give priority to those
You
based
mean the
on your
stars?
bandwidth. Okay. First, you this task today you wrote no? This row number 18, 16 onwards. Those
Yeah.
3, 4 you go through, okay,
Hmm.
and then I will come back.
Okay. Sure. Sure.
And if you see, I have written those already. Cognito certificate managers. In fact,
Yeah.
those are the
Math.
whatever I have mentioned there. You can those
Okay.
target. Those are the most.
Okay. Sure. Fine. So I will go through these services and all these like general things, and then and there are I think there are few others also like these. So I'll go through this and then I'll come back.
Yeah, add these things in summarize and put them in Excel file.
Okay.
It
Sure.
will help you to estimate time and
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Next time when you revise them, it will be helpful. You will remember it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, got it. Okay. Mm.
So I think fine. I think that's much today. So once you go,
Okay.
and then we will catch up again.
Yeah, sure, sure. Okay. Thanks a lot, Marajan.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Okay. Yeah,
Take care,
thank you.
well, and we'll meet.
Sure, sure. Take care. Bye.